2 weeks, if you have been following the politics of Zimbabwe, it has been a learning curve, and they gave some form of understanding into what happened to the military generals that we saw them being laid to the Zimbabwe National Heroes Acre, one after another. And especially during the COVID-19, it appears efforts were intensified to use COVID to eliminate as much as them. 1 week after the at National Heroes Acre, it was a busy, place of burying people from the military, brigadiers, brigadier generals, all those individuals were key in making sure that Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa becomes the president. With the revelations on Temba Mliswa at the moment, by the person who was so close to Temba Mliswa, that is Susan Mutami, it makes it clear, and also people going back to the period of 2018, looking at the communication that was done by Temba Mliswa, it somehow, somewhere, gives some clear indication as to what exactly transpired and who may be the persons of interest in this regard. Greetings and welcome on your lovely channel, the Flonipani Global News. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. I remember at one of the interviews I came across General Chinga speaking about the death of, I think it must be 2 generals, that is Parents Shiri as well as also SB Moyo, that for SB Moyo, he was talking with them, and the next minute he had, they went to sleep. The next minute he had the SB Moyo was rushed to the hospital. When attempts were made to go to the hospital, the man was dead. And he had, especially for SB Moyo, he had a similar condition with retired General Chiwenga. Their hands began to be swollen. I remember at one point holding a press briefing, and he couldn't actually properly conduct that press briefing, revealing the condition that he had affected also his skin, which was making his skin to be light. A lot of people thought that he was taking these creams that makes someone to be light in complexion, but somehow an attempt to his life was carried out, but it became fortunately for him because he reached an extent whereby he became vulnerable. I remember he was airlifted to South Africa and eventually to China. When he went to China, a lot of people thought it was done with retired General Chinga, only to re-emerge after some time. I think he stayed for quite some time in China, trying to. We must give it to the Chinese. They worked flat out to bring the man back to life. I never thought that I would actually see him walking, and because the condition in which he was airlifted to China, it was really, really, really terrible. And taking into consideration that he had witnessed numerous military generals dying, it continued the matter until some of us began to talk about it, showing people that no, these things are not happening in isolation. Why is it every week going to an extent of counting how many generals have actually lost their lives since 2018? And raising eyebrows of people that is this thing in isolation, or there is a hand that is working towards this. Now, it has been made simpler, especially when Temba Mliswa attempted to soil the name of retired General Chiwenga. The project has suffered a lot of setbacks. He was talking of numerous episodes that were going to be published on his X account, but all of a sudden he seems to have frozen, and in the process exposed a lot of information, strategies, what they were going to do to retired General Chiwenga going to the ZANU-PF National Conference. All the plans of Mnangagwa seemed to be backfiring against retired General Chiwenga. So the question is, especially on the aspect of the military the commanders, did Temba Mliswa had a hand? I think we should not and we should not pay attention. We should not say we are not going to pay attention on what Susan Mutami has raised regarding Temba Mliswa and indicating that she has been protecting Temba Mliswa because of the fact that they have a child together. She went mad and revealed everything when Temba Mliswa portrayed Susan Mutami as someone who is losing his mind, as someone who is not psychologically upright. I mean, all hell, I mean, break loose, and we got to know that Temba Mliswa was involved in a lot of shenanigans, which has something to do with the elimination of military generals. I think he is a person of interest. He answer quite a lot of questions, as much as also the wife of retired the former wife of retired General Chiwenga may have been actually brought into the picture, and all of a sudden having properties that she bought in South Africa, and these properties have been actually confiscated, especially after legal challenges were mounted to raise alarm to the government of South Africa that such properties were not accumulated properly. They were accumulated out of a dirty money, not only dirty money, they did not also follow the laws of how funds should actually move from one country to another, especially foreign currency. So, should we ignore the former girlfriend of Temba Mliswa and the dirty mama? I mean, the baby mama of Temba Mliswa? Never. I know that if people are in love, definitely in the process of sharing love with a woman who you perceive to be weak, you tend to speak a lot of information. And most probably, what Susan Mutami is sharing with the people, these men had actually shared it with her, or she observed. You see, when you get into a relationship with someone, especially to an extent of even having a baby, there are a lot of issues that you talk in the process, and some of the issues which may be in your chest ends up coming out, especially with a person whom you have developed trust to an extent of even allowing that person to see your privacy. So there is high probability, in my view, that Temba Mliswa has a lot to answer. Now, there is prima facie evidence. It has to be interrogated and thoroughly looked into by a credible court of law. I'm telling you, the man will actually speak more and expose himself a lot, as he has been doing, especially during the past few days. Thank you very much for watching us. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, guess what, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Okancube Umhlabane is signing off. Do remember also to support my album and take the Uthando Lwakhe by yours truly, Hloniphani Ncube, on all digital platforms. Let's meet on the other side of the live broadcast.